welcome to the Improv Summit. As always, I'm your host, Spencer. With me today, I have a very special guest. Now, I got in trouble for saying I always have a very special guest, so I do indeed play this game where you take the person's first letter, their first name, and you put an adjective before it. And so today, because it is only appropriate, I have with me today Magic Mikey. Hey, Mikey, how's it going?
Hello, how are you? Hi,
Good.
Spencer.
How are you? I love how you're like talking to everyone like it's a live feed.
I like to think that it's fun that way.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, people will be watching. It's fine.
They will be.
Maybe they are right now. Who knows? The government's always watching. What's up? How's it going?
It's good. I'm good. Doing
Great,
good. Nice
great.
little Saturday. It's my mom's birthday. Happy birthday,
Oh,
Mom.
happy birthday! You'll see it in 2 weeks. Next week, I don't know. Whenever this airs. Yeah, whenever. You'll figure it out. Happy birthday! Happy belated birthday, and happy birthday! Because if you watch it next year on your birthday, then it'll be the birthday.
It will be the birthday. Happy
That's
birthday,
a long,
Dee Dee.
long Dee Dee.
Yeah.
Dee Dee Pickles.
Dee Dee Pickles.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
One and the same.
You know, I played Stu once I was in elementary school and they did a Rugrats play.
What?
I don't know why. Because it was just like Rugrats, but then like the songs we sang were like Tomorrow from Annie. Like it wasn't even like
It wasn't Rugrats.
It's like a 20-minute. So I played Stu, and I was like, Stu is the older brother, duh, and like he is not at all.
I think Drew is the older
Drew's
brother.
the older brother, and when I watch Rugrats now, I realize that Stu is very much like an immature adult. Like he's very much not an older brother.
He's younger
at
than
all.
we are now.
Is he really?
I think he's 30 or maybe 32.
Oh, geez, that's.
I just told everyone how old I am. Oh
well,
no.
I think you're older than me.
Oh,
in my 30s, just not. We're getting there. We're getting there. Less than a month.
Oh no.
You know, once I turned 30 during pandemic.
Did you really?
I did, and so then last year I told my mom, or this year when I turned 31, I was like, she's like, happy birthday. I'm like, thanks. I'm so excited to be turning 30 again. And she goes, you're 31. And I was like, Mom, I understand. I just was hoping that maybe I could celebrate my year of 30, like not in pandemic.
It's an important birthday.
But I also realized my mom's Greek, so like it doesn't really
Oh.
surprise me that she decided to just, you know.
Well, they got a great yogurt, you know. That's my extent of what I know about
Not even
the
like
Greeks.
actually Greek.
It's not? Oh,
I guess
no.
tzatziki sauce, but
Oh, yeah.
but-
I bring a Wikos. I got Greek cousins, and every time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I try. I forget to bring it, but I always
I
make
have
a note to
cousins
bring it.
in Greece that don't know English, so I have to figure out how to talk to them. They're all like also like my cousins Nick and Nick,
What?
because they're like Nick. You know, they're both named Nick.
Their
'Cause
names
Nick
are
is-
Nick and Nick?
Yeah, Nick and then Nick. So
Oh,
like
dear.
you know, yeah, it's like Nick, Alexander, Christopher are like the top like
Yeah.
Greek names. Anyway,
I didn't
enough
know
about
that.
like my culture. Let's talk about you. That's why we're here. Here on the Improv Summit. I did a wink. There was no
Winks are
pun.
fun.
There was no pun involved, and it was a roundabout way of me getting here. Anyway, so let's talk about you and your improv experience. So, walk me through your life in improv,
Goodness.
as much or as little as you want to tell us.
Well, I guess. Should I start at the beginning, like how I got into improv?
It's a very good place to start.
Whose line is it anyway? I was 9.
It's a show. If you haven't seen it, just kidding.
Great show. My mom said, but Michael, I think I stumbled upon a show that I think you'd like, and it was Whose Line. I was very young, so that started my thought process in it. So of course I was already in theater, so I learned that you could, if you know, it's probably not a good thing to say. If you forget your lines, improv is a very good tool to have.
Even if you don't forget your lines.
If you think that you can write better than Tennessee Williams, then I think you can too, and you should improvise all of his shows.
There is Tennessee Williams unscripted, I believe, at Improv.
So like all the way through high school, we did a lot of improv jams and did a little improv in college. Revered Valdosta State University's improv program. They a bunch of friends did improv there, and I just thought it was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen. It was just like, anyways, I shouldn't go into that, but it left me with an impression that improv was really, it was a medium of its own, and it was really much more fun than scripted anything. But fast forward a few years, I'm out here and I get involved in Second City. That was the first improv stage.
As we all do.
Yeah, because I had friends who said you should take improv, and I said where, and they said, well, I'm at Second City, and I said, well, okay, I guess I'll do it there.
Yeah.
Obviously had
It's a cult.
I knew a lot about Second City for years and years. My
Sure.
college director had interest in me joining Second City in Chicago, but I moved to Texas instead. But so Second City had been on my mind for years, and when someone said, "Oh, I'm taking classes at Second City," it was an easy decision to make. But the great thing about Second City was I didn't know anybody when I moved here. Except for a small group of people. The improv kids from Valdosta State were living here, and they were my only friends.
By the way, Valdosta, as in like Wild Adventures Valdosta?
I don't know.
In Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a Wild Adventures?
So Wild Adventures is a theme park in Valdosta. It's like an hour and a half from where I grew up.
Where'd you grow up?
Tallahassee.
Go Knowles, baby!
Yeah! There you go.
Cool.
Yeah, that's my alma mater, actually.
Right, yeah.
Florida State. Woo-hoo.
I love Florida State.
Killing it this year, by the way.
They're having a good year.
They're having a good year.
Jordan
They also
Travis.
had their best year when I was a senior in college. We won national championships that year. So
Well,
and then I got my master's, and it all went down.
yeah, they didn't do good. They hired Mike Norvell.
Right after that, it definitely
Mike
went
Norvell
downhill.
has done a good job.
Yeah,
It was
sure.
really Taggart that didn't
I
do so
also
much.
ran into Bobby Bowden once as a child. R.I.P. Bobby.
He's a hero.
When I was a child, like I guess I was like 2 years old. I was at Old Town Cafe, which also doesn't exist, I don't think, anymore.
I think I ate there once.
And in Tallahassee.
I think I visited Tallahassee.
It was like an old like 1950s diner, and it was like average food, but we would always go there. And then I like grew up wanting to go there for whatever reason. But I was like 2, and they had on the bathrooms, it's like a giant head of Elvis, then like I think like someone else for the women's.
Yeah.
And I started to walk into the women's bathroom, and Bobby Bowden's wife at the time, or still was wife, I don't know.
I mean,
she like stopped me from going into the bathroom. She like this whole story is dead. She stopped me going to the bathroom, and then like we met Bobby Bowden. That's all I really know. And then I also choked on a cheese stick and almost died. But other than that, like it was a great experience.
Eventful day.
It was. My parents actually thought I was gonna die that day because I ate the mozzarella stick, and as I took a bite, the whole thing of cheese just like went down my throat.
Oh no!
But I also have a really interesting experience because I once had a fudge sickle, and I was like, I was like laying on a couch. I was just like, like doing that with the fudge sickle, and half of it came off the stick and like just stuck in my throat. And I was like, oh, it's melting, So it started to melt.
That's a really long saving.
But it was a lot of like just. I'm not very good at, I guess, chewing things.
No, I mean, but like the thing
before
about
I swallow them.
It's so like it's very taunting to choke on string cheese, especially mozzarella, because it doesn't
do anything.
Away.
Yeah, you can't just like drink water.
Funnel into your mouth. I'll do you one. Maybe not better, but I'll do you one. I used to pour all the pixie stick powder into one bag, and then I would scoop it from there. But I sneezed into the bag, and it all went to the back of my throat.
That's fun.
I was about 6 and choked. Ran around the house. My mom was following me, like asking, pleading, "What's wrong? I can't breathe." All it took was a glass of water.
Yep.
So
that's usually the case. Don't snort pixie sticks either.
Don't snort pixie sticks if you're. I'm sorry, Fun Dip, not pixie sticks.
Oh, but Fun Dip is like solid.
That's
but
good stuff.
Either way.
All
like Baby Bottle Pop. The other one is like the
candies in the '90s. We got spoiled with some
the
cool
Wonder
stuff.
Ball where they put the toy in it and then they changed it to candy because people would choke on the toys. But then they started having Kinder eggs, which is the same thing. Just I guess kids in Germany are smart, so like they don't need to like say like warning. There's a toy in here.
Well, we it's hard when you put food like a toy in food because
you just want to eat it.
You want to eat it.
Right.
We're eating. We as a country eat very well and with purpose. So when you put a distraction or an obstacle in our food, that's why I don't subscribe to putting an engagement ring in food.
Sure.
I'm going to eat it.
Although I will say Greeks put coins in cake during Vasilopita Sunday, right after Epiphany. So if you get the coin, you get good luck. You just want to make sure you don't swallow the coin because then your good luck might get reversed.
If I can quote Burgess Meredith, if she craps out 2 dimes in a nickel, then call a doctor.
Great. So speaking of calling doctors, let's talk about Dr. Improv.
Dr. Improv. I haven't been to the doctor in a decade.
Sometimes when you go... I haven't been in like a year. Or the dentist. I need to go back because, I still have my wisdom teeth. And that's a fun...
I have mine too.
Well, the thing is, I have one dentist who's like, you need to get those out. They're going to be a problem. I have another dentist who's like, your mouth is big. You have a big mouth. And as long as they come in. So the problem is my wisdom teeth aren't fully coming in. They're just kind of sitting there. And so that's almost like worse because it's like decay and stuff can get in there. And it can affect the other teeth. So I got to go back and like Also, I think I brush and overfloss. Anyway, Dr. Improv. So, doctors, they love what they do. They love like their specific element of what it is, whatever it is, like radiology or cardiology. I was going to say craniology, but I think that's also a thing, like brains. We know improv has a lot of elements to improv. What do you love about improv? Like a doctor, like a cardiologist loves a heart. What do you love about improv? Whether that's something big or something just small.
This is probably like a childish answer, but I mean, obviously it takes a long time to ever get good at it.
Sure.
If what does Polar say? Like, you learn the rules so you can break them. Like, I think if you can get to there, then you're in a good space.
Sure.
But my very favorite thing, I think, is trying to make your scene partners laugh, focusing on your scene partner. And I don't know, it's something inherently fun for an audience. At least if I'm an audience, I love watching the performers just try to make each other laugh.
Oh, the best.
I think that is my favorite thing, but as simple of an answer as that is, like, I laugh harder trying not to laugh than really anywhere else. It's like being 10 in a slumber party, like kind of, that's just joy. And we're old. I'm old. So I don't, I look for joy where I can find it. But I don't know. I mean, you could say like the freedom to make anything possible and saying yes to everything. And like, there's very, very few things in life where people will just say yes to anything.
Sure.
It's easier to say no and disagree, but the freedom is fun. But I think when you got a great thing going and a great team, great partners, you find a little escape in focusing on them and just playing. I miss playing. I miss being 10 and playing with your friends, and that it kind of feels like that. Yeah,
I love that because a couple of big things that I do that we come across a lot on this show is freedom, like the freedom to fail. Because I've learned that, like, as someone who has failed a test in geometry and like feels like a failure based on certain authority figures in my past during like internships and stuff, like really telling me I was bad and like awful and all this, knowing in improv that there's this freedom to fail is like almost more exhilarating because truly there's no stakes in improv. I mean, if you really think about it, like, our characters have really high stakes, but like performing in an improv scene, it's like me just getting on stage and being goofy. Like, there's not really any stakes to it at all. I'm not like, oh no, I hope I get it. Oh no, whatever. But also the idea you're talking about, like scene partner and working as a team, it's so interesting to me because I feel like what people often forget is that improv is a team sport.
Yeah, and obviously your goal is to make a scene work. Right. But it's the little things in between that make me happy.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, like, one thing is, like, it's like we both come in with different ideas, and if we keep going with those two ideas, there's a way to make them work. But if someone just drops the idea and just lingers on one other idea, it's a lot easier to navigate. It is that no but versus yes and, or like no because. It's like, yes, I love this idea, and I'm going to drop mine so I can do what you're doing, versus, no, but I had a great idea, so I'm going to do my idea while you're also doing your idea. Now, every now and then it works, but as we've said, you got to know the rules to break the rules. Yeah. You can't just break the rules before learning yes and.
Right.
I did an improv class recently. It's like a very basics, and the teacher's been like, I'm sorry, like, I was like, no, you're good. I wanted to like go back to basics. It was like, let's have a party. Yes, and at that party, we are going to make a cake. Yes, and this cake is, it was just like very much, yes, and this cake is, and we're just building off the thing that was said. It wasn't like, let's have a party. Yes, and the tunes are going to ride. Yes, and we're going to have a big splash party. Yes, and it's going to be in space. It was just like building off of one thing. Yes, and the cake is going to be chocolate. Yes, and the frosting is going to be like those small little moments. And I've also learned, like, as someone who just likes to talk, it's not that I like to talk, I just talk. I'm Greek, I talk with my hands. But that being said, I've discovered, even working as a team, I don't know I'm doing this. Even working as a team, see, I can have power without being powerful. There's another wink, I don't know. But what I've noticed is, like, when I just don't talk, and I really listen to what other people are saying in a scene, not only do I understand what's going on in the scene, but two, I'm like, oh, it's fine if I don't say something. Like, I can literally I've done a whole scene and I've tried it. I've done a whole scene where I just don't say anything.
It's fun.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Because I have nothing to worry about. I can just go like,
And that is a choice.
And it's a great choice. Every now and then it works. There are some times where like you just like, I don't know what to say. Don't say anything and see what that does. Also, you got to trust your partners, because if you don't trust them, improv doesn't work. Every time I play with people, I want to make sure that I trust them as much as possible, because I know that when I feel trusted and when I feel supported, I'm going to be able to reciprocate that, or it's going to be reciprocated. Anyway, the reciprocal of 1/8 is 8, in case you're wondering.
That's math. That's
That
algebra.
is math, which is not geometry, which I didn't do well in.
I didn't either. I was an algebra kid. Aced algebra and
So,
calculus.
fun fact about algebra, actually, on a real quick side note, because we've really derailed, but that's okay. I don't mind it.
I can talk about math.
So, in algebra, I took algebra 1. I got like straight A's in middle school. I was like one of the best algebra kids. Got to high school. I went straight to algebra 2. And we like had this test on the first day to see if we were like good at algebra, like if we could do algebra 2. And I was like, are we gonna have like a review or something? She's like, there's no review in algebra 2. And I was like, so review algebra 1? So I took this test. I did very poorly on it, because I was like, some of it was like algebra 2 stuff. And I was like, well, we're supposed to learn it. Why am I having to know how to do it? So then I went back to algebra 1, and I got straight C's in algebra 1, which means it is not me. It was not me. It was the teacher. Because then I went to 10th grade. I did geometry. And I remember I didn't do well on a test. And I went to a math help one day. And I said, I don't really understand this. And I still did poorly on the test. And he's like, well, you can't just come to a couple of math helps. You have to come to all of them to get better. And I was like, that shouldn't be the case. I should be able to figure out what I need to know in this 1 hour that I'm spending to come to this math help. I should know how to do it. I shouldn't have to come to every one to know how to do one thing. And so I learned that it's wasn't me. Because when I tutor math. And when I tutor math, algebra, and geometry, like, I can figure it out. I can also just quickly Google it if I don't. And it's a lot easier, because the kids are like, this. I'm like, what do you think? They're like, yeah. I'm like, that looks great. Let's click and see if you're right. Okay, you're right. Great. And they're like, okay, that's how we do it. Okay, got it. Like, I figured it out that way. But it's a lot easier for me to figure it out independently than for someone to teach me, for whatever reason, when it comes to math. Improv, however, what I love is a good coach.
Love a good coach.
I love a good coach who gives me that tough love. Like, I don't need someone to go, this, and this, and this, and this, and this. I need someone to be like, great, I love the choice of this. I want to work on this, but also, like, here's where your strengths are, and here's what we should work on. Like, I know that I know my accents and my characters are not great. I'm not great at those. But, like, I can give you a pun all day long. I can get in and give you a big, bold physical choice. I can do those. Give me those. I can go on stage and just, like, present in a room. But half the time I don't know what kind of character I am. Someone labels me, I can figure it out after they label me. But I will give you physical choices. I will give you those big moments. I know, like, where my strengths are. I know that I'm not a scene it game kind of person. I know that I'm much more of like a hey waiter, like, pun game.
And we
like,
played a lot of those. And pickle shoes.
Oh, we did. R.I.P. Pickle Shoes.
Yeah, rest in peace. Wow.
Too soon? But also music. Like, I have a degree in music, so like musical improv. Give me musical improv stuff. Like, I love that. I almost feel like I'm better at musical improv than I am at regular improv, because I have that inherent ability of music. Which you don't have to be musical to do musical improv. You just have to, like, want to do it. Anyway, let's get back to improv. Speaking of, so again, there's a lot of. Also, this chair's really squeaky. I got it for free, so, like, what can I complain about? Shout out to the Buy Nothing group on Facebook. Because you buy nothing, you just get it for free.
Oh man.
I got a lot of things that way, but I've also given away stuff that I don't need. So that's the key. Get rid of your stuff that you don't need. And then if you miss it in a year, you can buy it again. But if you don't miss it, you're like, never missed it. Never needed it. That being said, on a weird roundabout tangent, because we all know on this show that I'm so good at segues. Object work is another thing I have to work on. My object work is, my computers are always like this. I don't know what computer is like this, but...
if I'm laying on my bed.
Yeah, I guess, but, like, if I'm sitting up, like, where's the computer, like, where is it? It's like I gotta hold it and also type.
Standing desk.
I guess, but I'm sitting.
Oh, well. That's a choice. It's a choice.
It's a floating computer. We're in space. That being said, what do you feel like is, like, a strength for you in improv? Like, what is something you're like, anytime you give me this kind of an idea or any kind of this kind of whatever, I feel like it's easy for me to succeed without really working on it.
Oh dear.
That sounds awful. Without working on it. Obviously we keep working in improv, or I'll give you another question option. If that's too, because it's a bit of a thinker. Do you remember a scene that you did, like a 2-person scene, or that you saw or performed in that you were like, this was so good, and here's why I liked it?
I'm sure there's a bunch, but there's like 2 memories in my earliest classes of improv where I discovered something that I didn't know was possible, which is it's a very silly, dumb thing, but it was so elemental, and at the time it was like this magical burst of energy. And there was 2 instances. One of them was with my friend Trevor, and we were in like a second improv class ever, and it was as dumb as we were pirates on a ship, and I think there was a bird in the sky. We both had the same suggestion that there was a bird in the sky, and we both looked in the same place. Simple as that. We mind melded at the same time over the same thing, and we were both introducing this ad into the scene. Don't know why that stood out the way it did, but it was this like, oh my gosh, we're thinking the same thing at the same time, and we're saying yes at the same time to it.
Sure.
There was that, and another time that me and my friend Dana, who we are now co-writers and contributors to Storyboard, shout out to Storyboard comedy. We were doing a ninja scene. We were breaking into a house, and we both dove into a somersault over each other at the same time by accident, and that was another time where I thought, oh gosh, anything's possible in this. But those are 2 just elemental intro to improv memories that will always stick out. Done hundreds of shows since then where there's hundreds of moments just like that, but for whatever reason, those were the introduction to, oh, anything's possible. And isn't it fun to say yes to your friend?
So it's really cool because, as people know on this show, I talk about a lot of my auditions that I've had, like the memories that I've had, because I don't really remember a lot of improv. Like, I do a scene and halfway through, I could not even tell you what my character's name was or like what I called someone else's. And like, I've done that where like, and I've mentioned this on the show before too, is I've literally, we do like heralds, and we go back to like the second beat or the third beat, and someone pulls me out and they like start doing something, and I'm like, what do you want me to do? I will react that. I was like, I don't remember who I was. Like, what scene was this? What scene did we do? And so they're like, don't you think it's exciting? And I'm like, yeah, well, I love whatever. Like, I literally don't remember. It's so hard for me in heralds because if I'm like, I usually try to do supporting, because if I'm like the person who you want to bring back, I'm like, I don't remember who I was. But then also if I'm supporting, I never remember what the bit was. So I just like, I'm like, oh, okay. So I just pull out something like, cool, here's some shoes. I don't know. So cool. So that being said, I love to talk about myself apparently, but let's talk about you. You want to plug, pitch, share? Where can people find you?
Goodness. So I am a co-contributor to a YouTube channel called Storyboard. That's Story B-O-R-E-D, or StoBo Comedy. We specialize in web series pilots and sketch comedy and shorts. So the great thing about improv is we found a lot of our ideas and bits and functionality through improv that will eventually end up in our episode. So it's a weird tornado of fun. Are you okay?
Sorry, you said and shorts? I thought you said we improvise in shorts.
Oh no, we don't wear pants. We have a real rule.
And I was like gonna let you finish the pitch, and I was just like,
well,
I heard in shorts.
If you wear pants and improvise,
but you can watch
anything to do with you.
The YouTube channel in shorts.
Mm-hmm. You can
or
watch
without.
It.
It's really up to you. You can wear whatever you want when you watch them.
I'm wearing pants right now.
And I'm wearing shorts.
Pants and shorts.
And a polo.
You got a hoodie on. Go Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah, Storyboard, I think that's like, outside of like, I do commercials. Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at now. But a lot of like auditions I get are, so just improvise. They don't give us a script. They don't give us anything. They just think that we're these, I don't know. Yeah.
They think we know how to do everything.
They think we know how to improvise, and I don't at all. I've been doing it for a while, and I still don't think I've ever done it. But so if you want to find me anywhere, I would say Storyboard. It's a fun team. They're my best friends, and we make stuff because it's more fun making stuff than not making stuff. So.
And that's why this show exists, because it's more fun making stuff than not making stuff.
Yeah.
Mikey, thanks so much for joining me here on the Improv Summit. Of course, you're not the first person that's thanked me. Anyway, it was just so pleasant. That thank you was very pleasant. I don't know why it was so pleasant. It was pleasant. That's the word. But this is the last question I have for you, and it's the reason why this Improv Summit exists. A lot of times I have people who come up to me knowing that I've gone through several different programs, and they say, Spencer, you take a lot of improv. Where should I take improv? And it's a little bit of an overwhelming question because it really depends for me for a lot of things. So I want to kind of ask the experts, if you will, as guests come on the show. If someone asked you that, what would be one piece of advice or one tip you'd give to someone to help guide them on their improv journey? I know it can be like a full conversation, but like one thing, one nugget. Not a corn nugget, though, because corn nuggets are gross.
I like corn nuts.
I hate corn. No, corn nuggets.
Oh, I don't know what a corn nugget is.
So, see, here's the thing. Like, people think that Tallahassee, Florida is not the South. Have y'all heard of a corn nugget? Look, corn nuggets are nuggets that are like basically, it's like corn that's like deep fried.
Oh, those are good.
It's like a hush puppy corn.
I love those.
I hate corn, but a cornbread, I'm all for.
I like
hush puppies, all for. The little Crispies and Long John Silvers, they now sell as a side. The little like
really?
the little like battered crispy things is like fried Crispies. Delicious.
I like anything corn, anything fried. I'm from Georgia.
Corn, no thanks. Fine. Cornbread, delicious.
Delicious.
Okra, actually solid.
I like okra.
Collards, love it.
Love some collard greens.
Love it.
Had
When it's
some
not
the
too
other day.
salty.
I like a little bit of tomato in there sometimes.
I don't like tomatoes.
I don't like cold tomatoes.
But I also really like sweet tea. And it's done well.
I don't like sweet tea.
Well, I drink a lot of it. I drink almost too much of it. Too much sweet tea. Anyway.
That's not too much.
Anyway. I drink like a large sweet tea every day.
But
I mean,
that's
it's like half and half. So it's like a little bit better.
That's fun. That's really
20 grams of sugar instead of 50 grams of sugar. It's fine.
Hey, it's
It's better.
I like sugar.
It's better.
Um.
Anyway, that being said.
So what would I add? I would
on our
ask
menu of improv, what would be one item? What would be one entree that you could? Look at this segue.
Food.
Oh, we talked about food, and then on the menu of improv, what would be one entree item you would offer to someone in terms of improv corn nuggets?
I would ask what they're interested in learning and what their end goal is and what their immediate goals are. And, I'm no expert on where to go per se, but I can share my experiences and what I learned and what I observed. But, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, if you're into sketch comedy, like Second City is a great place to go. They focus on re-improv to then write sketch. That was what I wanted to do. And that's where I think I feel the best. I may not be the most talented. I'm certainly not the funniest or tallest. But in a group environment, I certainly feel like I'm having the most fun. And, my time is better spent there. So group improv in a team setting where the goal is to make each other laugh and to make a scene work. Like Second City did a great job of helping me with that. And I imagine, if you want to do character work and really develop character and really new people, then Groundlings is a great place to be. If you want to learn game and like identifying a silly thing in a scene and building on that, then maybe UCB is your place. But again, I'm no expert. These are just what I've kind of gathered from here. But I would probably I'd want to hear what they want to do. And then we have a conversation, and hopefully we both learn a little bit from that conversation. But I'm certainly no expert, and I certainly like to be a follower in this scene. Everybody around me always has better ideas, and I like to roll with what they have.
I love that. I mean, I also love that the idea of like, even as improvisers who have been improvising for a while, there's always that knowledge that we can still keep learning. It's not like you've mastered improv.
Yeah, I think that's one of the better parts of this is no matter where you are in your experience with improv, you get to learn more, and that's actually really fun.
Yeah.
Reminder, like you get to discover more, and discovering new things is always like my newfound joy in life is like or not joy but focus is like a day well spent, and I always leave an improv jam with those types of feelings like, oh, that was a good day, and that's what it's a good value system.
Sure, I love that. A good value system, just like they have in math.
Yeah. Math is very valuable. If you're counting money or
how many times
accolades.
you improvise a joke that works is a lot easier than when it doesn't work. That I do know. Anyway, Mikey, thanks so much for joining me here on the Improv Summit. I did say that was the last question I had for you, but as always on this show, I am a Paul Giamatti, a big fat liar, and I do. Which, by the way, just like turned like 20 years old or 21 years old. That movie, I saw it in.
Oh, the movie. I thought you meant.
No, not Paul Giamatti. He's definitely a few years older than 21. Happy 21st, Paul Giamatti. Happy 30th, Dee Dee. Happy 25th.
You remember
Good
my
Burger.
mom's name?
Yeah, Dee Dee Pickles.
Dee Dee Pickles.
I remember. But that being said, I did say that was the last question, but I am a liar, so I have one more question for you, and that question is, we've been talking a lot about improv. Do you want to do some improv?
I'd love to do some improv.
Let's do it. Yes, and let's do it. All right, we're going to do some improv. What I need from you is the answer to this question. Do you want a relationship, a location, or a word?
Relationship.
Great. So I'm going to give you two options. You're going to tell me which one you want to go with. We have a chef and a maitre d', or a gladiator and betrothed.
I don't know what a betrothed is.
Great.
So let's go with gladiator and betrothed.
Great. Great. So let's do it. Who would you like to initiate this scene?
Ooh. You do it.
Great. All right, perfect. Thank you. Let's do it. Yeah, you can finish sharpening that.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's quite heavy. How are you with heavy? Wow, you're very good with heavy. Wow, wait, your arms are huge. Wow.
Take it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Where do you find the time to work out to get strong and stuff? Like
Battles. Of course. Gotta be prepared for all the battles.
No kidding. You just get recruited to do battles, or is it like something you go to school for? Like I can barely hold this thing up.
I know that's why you're not a gladiator.
One reason why I'm not a gladiator.
Here, let me hold it.
Yeah, here you go. God dang.
See, if I put it right here, like, whoa, close. Don't worry. Not gonna do anything. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, can I grab it and touch it?
We'll find out, won't we? See if you got reflexes.
I don't even have. I don't have armor on or nothing. Just me.
Yeah, you're running it deep, aren't you?
Pretty deep, yeah.
Not deep. It's what do they call it? You're like running like just au natural. Like you don't have like you're just kind of going bare. Like you don't need to
naked.
No, you don't need the protection. Like you're just kind of like
brave.
Well, no, I mean it's more like you're just living on the edge.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
I was
that's what I meant. Living
say.
On the edge is what I meant.
God damn. Okay, I just sharpen it for you if you want.
Right, I would love that. I have more tasks for you as well, so finish sharpening it, and then I'll give you the next task.
You got it. I'm gonna make it extra sharp for you.
Great, that's what I need.
You're gonna be the most bravest, most tallest, most strong, sword-wielding gladiator out there, man. I'm so proud of you. Can't wait to see you do it. And I'm gonna make this extra good for you.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, I didn't want to give you too much credit,
No, and I honestly, I don't. I think it would go straight to my brain, and I'd get a big head, and then I'd be thinking I could get out there too, and I'd be a gladiator as well. Which we both know that I probably could be a gladiator.
I mean, you probably should just stick with doing the extra tasks.
Yeah. I'll just be a task guy. I can be a task guy.
Thank you all so much for joining us here today on the Improv Summit. As always, I'm your host Spencer. That's Mikey. See you next time. Bye.